Okay, what if I told you that you might already be improving your English, maybe picking up new words, even gaining confidence just by doing something you absolutely love?
Hmm.
Something maybe some people even dismiss as, unproductive downtime, like, say, losing yourself in a video game.
Interesting hook.
Welcome to Daily English Practice, Listen and Speak. This is our deep dive into English for hobbies.
Today, we're digging into a bunch of different sources, articles, some research, notes from a listener, all focusing on something pretty fundamental, actually, how to talk about your hobbies in English.
Exactly. It's one of the first things you learn, right? But textbook phrases, they don't always cut it for real casual chat.
Not at all. Our listener sent over material covering everything from basic conversation starters to, well, a pretty fascinating academic study on how online gaming affects language skills.
Yeah, so the goal today is to move beyond just, listing activities. We want to give you the tools, the language to express your passion authentically.
And to connect with others.
hmm
Turn that downtime into real progress.
Because when you can talk about what genuinely excites you, language practice stops feeling like work.
It becomes about connection, real communication.
Okay, let's dive in then. First up, why are hobbies such a common topic? Why do people ask about them so much in English?
Well, it's a natural starting point, isn't it? Some of the resources, like the Latin Higher list of conversation starters, point this out. Asking about hobbies is low pressure. It's relatable, helps break the ice.
Makes sense. And it's practical for learning, too. The Ford Learning Source mentioned this. Sharing your hobbies lets you use English in a way that's fun, relevant to you.
Exactly. You're applying the language directly to your own life, your own interests. And that process, well, it turns your passions into actual language progress.
Right. And hobbies are a bridge, aren't they? A way to connect.
Definitely. Several sources touch on this. That gaming study, for example, really highlights how shared interests online can build these global communities.
Ah,
And Ford Learning echoes that. Pursuing a hobby can link you up with other people, maybe form a community of practice where English just happens to be the common language you all use.
that's a really powerful motivator, I think. Learning English unlocks this global community around your specific passion, whatever it might be.
It really does.
But okay, before we get lost in gaming worlds or art galleries, let's nail the absolute basics. The building blocks. Jay Forrest's material lays out those essential verbs we need.
Right. The core preference verbs like enjoy, love, and adore.
Adore, that one sounds stronger, right?
Oh, yeah, much stronger. It signifies a real deep passion, more intense than just love.
Okay, simple enough. Like enjoy, love, adore, and the grammar. What comes after these verbs when we're talking about the activity itself?
Okay, this is key.
Yeah,
Generally, you use the gerund. That's the ing form of the verb.
right.
So I like reading, I enjoy taking pictures, I love playing piano, I adore playing basketball.
So stick with the gerund, even if sometimes native speakers might get a bit flexible.
Hmm.
For learners, gerund is the safe bet.
Precisely. For clear, correct usage, especially when you're building fluency, using the gerund after like enjoy, love, adore for the activity is the most reliable way to go. It just simplifies things.
Got it. Using the gerund is key.
Huh. And of course, you don't always have to use the activity verb. Sometimes a simple noun works perfectly well.
Oh, right. Like,
I like photography. I enjoy sports. I love music. I adore languages. Often much more direct.
yeah, just the noun. Simple. The Jigor source also gave us some alternatives for the word hobby itself.
It did. You'll often hear pastime.
Pastime. Okay.
Like playing chess is my favorite pastime.
Mm-hmm.
It might sound a little more formal, perhaps, than
Yeah.
hobby, but it's very common. Or the phrase, way to pass the time.
Ah, a way to pass the time.
Yeah, hiking is my favorite way to pass the time. Both basically mean an activity you enjoy doing in your free moments.
Nice. Adds a bit of variety straight away. And for absolute beginners, that week 4 source had some really simple structures.
Yeah, very straightforward. Things like, my favorite hobby is Greg, and then just filling in the blank with common hobbies like baking, reading, playing soccer, watching TV, doing karate. Really useful basic frames.
Okay. Foundation set.
Mm-hmm.
Preference verbs, gerunds, or nouns, basic sentences. But like the EF English Live material points out, just using textbook words. It doesn't always sound natural in casual conversation, does it?
No, not really. Native speakers use much more colorful, informal language, idioms, expressions.
This is where we level up. EF English Live had some great examples for free time talk.
Absolutely. Really useful stuff.
Let's pick a few. What about hang out? We hear that one constantly.
Yeah, hang out basically means spending time relaxing, having fun, Often with friends, but not necessarily doing anything specific like, let's hang out at the park later, or I just plan to hang out at home tonight. It's unstructured.
Okay, so just chilling together. Got it. How about for enjoying the sun? Is there a casual phrase?
Catch some rays.
Catch some rays.
Yeah, just means enjoying the sunshine. You might be at the beach or just sitting in your garden. It's more casual than sunbathe, but uh, remember the sunscreen. Don't want to get sunburnt.
Always good advice. And for us coffee addicts,
You can say, enjoy a cup of joe.
cup of joe.
Yeah, cup of joe is a really common informal slang for a cup of coffee, especially in North America.
Yeah.
You might also hear cup of java. Or in the UK, you might hear someone ask, fancy a cuppa, which often means tea, but could be coffee.
I could definitely enjoy a cup of joe right now. Okay, what if you're browsing shops but not planning to buy?
Let's go window shopping. Just looking at things in shop windows or maybe wandering through stores purely for enjoyment without intending to spend money.
Can be dangerous, though. Temptation.
Tell me about it. Okay, sports. Playing basketball casually.
How do we say that?
You'd often say shoot some hoops. Just
Yeah.
playing basketball informally, maybe at the park courts. The source also mentioned the UK version for soccer. Go for a kick around.
Ah, good to know the difference. Kick around. Hoops. Got it. Eating fast food.
Chow down at a fast food joint.
Chow down.
Yeah, chow down is informal for eating, maybe quickly or with enthusiasm. And a joint is just a casual term for a place, especially a restaurant. So a fast food joint. The source also noted joint can be broader now, like a burger joint or even a vegan joint.
So joint just means a casual spot.
Okay.
This next one sounds like a party. Paint the town red.
It definitely implies a big night out. Paint the town red means going out, having a really lively, fun, exciting time, probably visiting several places, staying out late.
Okay, and the total opposite of that.
That would be to keep it low-key.
Low key.
Yeah, meaning having a quiet, relaxed time, maybe staying home, maybe a small gathering with just a couple of friends. Chill.
Perfect. And one more, getting ready for a road trip.
Grab some munchies and hit the road.
Munchies.
Snacks, usually easy-eat snacks for a journey. And hit the road means to start your trip, typically by car. So get your snacks ready and start driving.
Brilliant. Those expressions really do make you sound more like, well, like you actually speak English conversationally.
They absolutely do. But, if you want to sound a bit more sophisticated, maybe aim for that C1 level. Jay Forrest mentioned there are other phrases too.
Okay, hit me with the advanced stuff.
All right. You can use to be an avid noun, like I'm an avid cyclist or she's an avid reader. Avid means very keen, enthusiastic.
Avid. I like that. Sounds committed.
It does. Or you can say you're passionate about noun or gerund.
Mm-hmm.
I'm passionate about history, or I'm passionate about learning languages. Conveys strong feeling.
Shows you really care.
Mm-hmm. Another nice one to show dedication is spend every chance I get in a location or gerund.
Oh, yeah.
I spend every chance I get in my garden. Or he spends every chance he gets practicing the violin. Really emphasizes how much time you devote to it.
That really paints a picture. What about starting something new? A new hobby?
Perfect time for the phrasal verb to take up activity.
Take up.
Yeah. I recently took up pottery, or she's thinking of taking up coding. It specifically means to start a new hobby or sport. Sounds very natural.
So take up is the go-to for starting. Good to know.
Definitely. Another very common, straightforward way is to be into noun or gerund.
Into.
Yeah, I'm really into sci-fi movies, or
Yeah.
they're really into bird watching. Just means you really enjoy it, you're interested. Similar vibe with to be a fan of noun or gerund.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of board games. He's a big fan of cooking shows. Using huge or big adds emphasis.
Huge fan. Big fan. Got it.
And for something really central to your life, like deeply important, you might use live to infinitive.
Live to. Wow.
Yeah, it's strong. I live to surf, or she lives to write. It suggests the activity is incredibly meaningful, almost essential to your existence.
Like, I live to explore these sources.
Exactly. Shows real passion. And one last structure, very common for physical activities.
Huh.
Go plus gerund. Go hiking, go swimming, go skiing, go dancing, go shopping. You just conjugate the verb go as needed. I went hiking. We're going swimming. But the activity part stays as the gerund.
That covers so many common activities. Great. So we've got general ways to talk about hobbies, but some hobbies, they have their own specific language, right? Like a whole mini world.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The sources gave us two great examples, art and gaming. Let's look at the IELTS art material first. If art is your thing, you quickly find you need specific terms.
Like different kinds of art.
Exactly. The source mentions visual arts, performing arts, contemporary art, movements like surrealism. Knowing these helps you be much more precise about what you enjoy.
And basic art words.
Things like artist, canvas, masterpiece, exhibition, gallery, sketch. The fundamentals for talking about making or looking at art.
And there were some interesting idioms in that source, too.
Yeah, like a culture vulture. That's someone really keen on arts and culture.
Culture vulture. Okay.
If something makes you think, it's thought-provoking. And artists often need to think outside the box, think creatively. These phrases help you explain why you like art. Maybe you are a culture vulture, or you love art that's thought-provoking.
That really shows how hobbies have their own linguistic ecosystems.
Yeah.
And speaking of ecosystems, gaming, that academic study had some really surprising findings.
It really did. It looked at French university students playing online games in English. And the results, well, 84.4% of them said gaming helped improve their English.
84.4%, that's huge.
It's a massive vote for informal learning. The study suggests it's down to immersion. You're surrounded by real-talk game instructions, chat with other players from all over the world. English is often the default language, the lingua franca, in these spaces.
So you have to understand and communicate to play, to progress.
Exactly. It pushes both understanding and speaking. And vocabulary acquisition, too. The study showed gamers pick up specific words related to the game pickaxe in a mining game, barracks in a strategy game. Lots of nouns, apparently.
And informal stuff, too, right? Like slang.
Oh, yeah. Terms like noob, short for newbie, often used as an insult for new players.
Yeah.
Gamers get exposed to all this authentic, sometimes rough language and context.
And they communicate in different ways.
Right. Instant messaging, voice chat with headsets, forums. It gives practice across reading, writing, listening, speaking, the whole range.
And it builds confidence.
That was a really key point from the student interviews. The less formal, sometimes anonymous online setting made them feel much safer practicing English compared to a classroom. One student basically said most of their conversational English came from talking to people in games.
Wow. That's powerful. And there was that amazing bit of physical evidence, the graffiti.
Ah, yes. The researchers found gaming phrases scrawled on university desks. It's EEE, Mario, team. Even misspelled insults like losers and endo-b.
Incredible.
It shows how deeply this language can get embedded, even become part of your identity. It's real evidence of this passion-driven learning.
That anecdote really sticks with you. Okay, so we've covered the language of hobbies. What about describing why we love them? Jay Forrest mentioned adjectives.
Absolutely crucial. Adjectives let you express the feeling, the value, the benefit you get.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, reading is often relaxing or calming. Art activities like painting can be incredibly creative. Sports or some games are active or social. Puzzles might be challenging. Being outdoors is enjoyable. Travel or learning something new can feel very fulfilling.
And Jay Forrest said using a gerund phrase with these can sound more advanced.
Yes, exactly. Instead of just painting makes me feel creative, you can structure it as painting is a great way to be creative.
Oh, okay.
Or spending the afternoon hiking is really enjoyable. It just elevates the sentence structure a bit.
Nice tip. Okay, we've talked loads about describing our hobbies, but conversation needs two sides. How do we ask others about theirs?
The sources had plenty of options. The basics from Jay Forrest and Latin Hire are things like, do you have any hobbies? What are your favorite hobbies? What hobbies do you enjoy? Very direct.
Standard questions. What about sounding a bit more natural, maybe more advanced?
Jay Forrest suggests, what are you into? That's super common informally.
What are you into? Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Or what do you do for fun? And how do you like to unwind?
Unwind. What's that exactly?
To unwind means to relax, de-stress, usually after work or a busy period. So asking how do you like to unwind is a really nice, natural way to ask about relaxing free time activities.
That's a good one. And Latin Hire had that great tip for keeping the conversation going after they answer.
Ah, yes. Keep asking why.
Simple, but effective.
Totally. Don't just accept the first answer. Ask, oh, why do you enjoy that? Or what is it about knitting that you love? Asking why maybe a couple of times encourages them to share more, to really open up about their passion.
Great advice for any conversation, really. Okay, one last area. What if you want to do a hobby, but maybe you don't have time right now, or you're planning it for the future?
Yeah, Jay Forrest covered this too. There are some really useful phrases for these hypothetical or future situations.
Like what?
A classic is, if I had more free time, I'd love to take up activity. We talked about take up, meaning to start, right? This clearly shows time is the issue.
Right, lack of time.
Or you could say, I wish I had time to play guitar. Similar idea, expressing that desire.
Makes sense.
Another one, if I weren't so busy, I'd definitely join a choir. And for a concrete future plan, once I finish this project, I'll definitely learn how to bake sourdough.
Once we finish this deep dive, I'll definitely take up sleeping.
Huh. Perfect use. It signals your intention, clearly.
Okay, so looking back at everything, basics, idioms, advanced phrases, specific vocab for things like art and gaming, describing feelings, asking questions, what's the big takeaway for someone listening?
I think the core message from all these sources, really, is that using English to talk about your hobbies, your passions, it's one of the most practical, effective, and genuinely enjoyable ways to improve.
Yeah, it makes learning relevant to your life. It connects you to people, and it builds confidence because you're talking about something you actually know and care about.
Exactly. It encourages you to weave English into the things you already love doing. Maybe watching tutorials in English, reading articles, joining forums, listening to podcasts like this one, or yes, even playing games with people internationally.
It gives you the language to go beyond just saying, I like painting, and actually share why, share the experience, the feeling. It opens up much richer conversations.
Definitely.
And thinking about that, especially that gaming study and the power of informal learning,
Yes.
here's a final thought for you to consider. What if the most impactful English learning you could do this week wasn't drilling grammar, but consciously engaging with your favorite hobby using English? Whether it's finding an online group, reading a related blog, watching a video, what specific, maybe surprising vocabulary might you pick up? And who might you connect with globally just by sharing that passion in English? Something to think about as you plan your free time.